I'm on the third hole. I've started brilliantly. I feel great out on the golf course today. I've just gone par, hitting the ball great. Just hit a 7-iron down the third and shanked it over out of bounds down into the houses. My confidence is shattered. I felt so good half an hour ago, and now I feel like I don't want to carry on. Mal, help.
Okay, come on then.
Come on. Okay, so we are back out on the golf course with Mal. I will mention we're not playing, there's no clubs as you can see, we're still in the middle of a lockdown. But I appreciate Mal coming out and helping us and helping you understand a little bit about how you deal with confidence on the golf course and improving our mindset, certainly. Mal, just that situation I just explained there on the tee, it happens a lot, it certainly happens a lot to me, and I'm sure plenty of you watching are in the same boat. Things felt great, and then one bad shot, it's almost like the confidence was hanging on a piece of string.
Yeah.
One bad shot and it shot at, and now I'm worried what's going to happen for the rest of the day.
It is what you hear from a lot of people a lot of the time, you know, that one shot and suddenly the confidence is gone.
Yeah.
And it tends to, I think we as golfers, particularly amateur golfers, we give confidence an aura that it doesn't really need.
Okay.
Confidence itself, if you pull it right back to the bare bones, it's, can I do the task that's in front of me?
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that, and yet we give it an aura that says, well, it's going to control the whole day on us.
Well, that's how I felt.
Yeah. So you were fine for 2 holes.
Yeah.
One bad shot, and it's all gone, and you're not really looking forward to the rest of it. But take it all the way back. What you're left with is you've got a bunker shot, haven't you? Because you've just stuffed it in the bunker shot.
Yeah.
You know that you can play a bunker shot.
Yeah.
Because confidence isn't a single shot that bounces it up and down. We're really fragile with confidence, aren't we? It doesn't take much to shatter a golfer's confidence.
Yeah.
But that tends to be big because of what we think it's built on. We as amateurs, we think it's all on the outcome and the single shot, but confidence doesn't really come from that.
So where would my confidence come from before today?
Well, you get your confidence really from 4 main areas. The first one is really past experience, and that can be past experience of practice, can be past experience on a golf course, and that is the main one. But which we'll come back to. So you then get it from vicariously or modelling, which is the 2 terms that are interchangeable for each other, which tends to be I see you doing it, therefore I think I can do it. And that's particularly prevalent in juniors. That's where they get most of theirs from.
Acting as if.
Absolutely, yeah.
Want to be Nick Faldo for me, and obviously now they all want to be like Tyrrell Hatton.
Yeah, with the hoodies on.
That's another story.
Yeah. Third is the encouragement that you get. So you can get encouragement from either your playing partner. Sometimes you won't get that. Maybe you will.
I play with.
Yeah, you get it from a coach. Obviously, that's what they're for. But also, you get that from your internal voice, and that can be one where you can either give encouragement or you can actually go the other way and end up berating yourself. And that's something that we just need to touch on. And lastly, it's the mood of the day. You get confidence from how you are on the day itself. You know, have you turned up and given yourself a chance to warm up, walk onto the first tee being confident, or have you run on there, your shoelace is still undone, and you haven't really given yourself much of a chance? Those are the 4 areas primarily that you get your confidence from.
One thing you mentioned there about the coach giving you confidence, or your playing partners, when you get onto tour, the tour players, they have their caddy with them to help control their emotions, control their mindset. And certainly the shot that I've just hit over on this 3rd hole there, they can do that chat to me.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
My self-chat is clearly not great because my confidence just disappeared. Yeah. So go back into that caddy chat we were on last week.
Yeah, ideal. It's this is where it really comes into play. So you've hit your shot. You are in caddy mode. You are in learning mode at that point. We want you to be acting as the caddy.
Yeah.
So what you need to be doing, it's a non-emotional learning point in the swing. You need to be aware of what you're talking to yourself about. So if your caddy's calling you every name under the sun, then that's not going to help. All that does is chip away at your confidence.
Right. Yeah.
And so don't forget you've changed role. I want you to physically feel as if you've changed role.
Yeah.
You know, you've moved into a different point. You are picking up the information that the club's giving you, identifying. It's a key point in self-talk, this, because you're going to be out there for 4 hours and you will touch yourself wandering down the fairway and the like, but the most important time is immediately post-shot. That's when all the voices are in there, and that's where you need to recognise them. That's the first point. If you can recognise that you're doing it, brilliant. Recognise it, stop yourself, just ask yourself 2 questions. Did I do my process? Is there anything I could have done better? Done. Move on.
Brilliant. So talking of little drills and things that we can give to the golfers watching to help them change the way they feel, or certainly to improve their self-talk or their confidence on the golf course.
One of the best ways really is once you identify things, once you identify it, they start to have less of an impact to you than as if they're sitting there. You're facing up to them really. So what we can do is write things down. There's 3 different areas really for me. You can write down the things that you've got control of, which is what we talked about, mentioned before. So your preparation, your practice, things like that, they're all in your control. Then there's other 2 elements, which is where you jump onto the golf course really for me. There are areas on the golf course which you're confident with, you like doing, and there are areas that you're not so keen on. It's those areas that you really need to focus on. So they're the best. It's not rocket science. If you practice those areas, you're going to be more confident in when you get them on the golf course.
To execute them, I guess.
Absolutely.
Thing is though, if you're not good at something, if you find you struggle with it, like for example chipping, and you're not great at it, most people go on the driving range, smash drivers, because they get more enjoyment out of that.
They love doing that.
They don't want to face up to that.
Yeah.
If I was going on the chipping green and fatted or thinned a few chips before I played, that'd probably make my confidence even worse. So it's facing up, I guess. So no, let's address this, get it right, and bringing that out to the golf.
It is absolutely. Once you've identified those weaknesses, there's 2 ways to do it. You need to know: do I know what I should be doing? So, from a technique point of view, do I know what I should be doing? Do I know how to implement it? You need to have those fundamentals in order to go and practice. If you don't know what you should be doing, then, as you say, the practicing isn't going to help really, and actually you're probably going to take yourself backwards. But it's not difficult really, is it? It's to find out what you should be doing. How do you implement it? You ask somebody like yourself, don't you? And then you put the time in. Once you've identified them, you've addressed it, and it's a great feeling once you get beyond that being something that you weren't keen on. Call it a weakness, call it an area for improvement, whichever way you want to phrase it. It's the same thing really. But once you get beyond that and that becomes a strength, it's a real sense of achievement. That.
Brilliant. Just a quick one before we carry on. We are getting a few questions to the channel, which is brilliant. We're not going to address them today. What we're going to do, maybe in 2 or 3 episodes time, we're going to dedicate a whole episode to answering your questions about this part of the game. So please comment below with any questions you've got for Mal, and then like I said, we'll focus on that maybe in a couple of weeks, and we'll give as many answers as we can.
10 or 20
we really appreciate it for subscribing, by the way, and if you do subscribe, thank you. 92% of you that are watching today actually don't subscribe. It is free, so why not? Hit the notifications bell as well, and you won't miss out any nuggets that Mal is going to be delivering to us in the next few episodes. So again, another couple of things that are going on in my mind. I'm on the golf course, and you kind of talk about confidence coming from past experiences and so on. I've got 30 years on the golf course of experiences, and a lot of good, but I very rarely recall on them. I seem to find the bad ones come off the round. How have you got on today, Dan?
I'm no mind reader, but I think I can see where this is going.
Man has shot one over or something. It was a good day. Have you played? Oh, well, 3 whack the 17th. Otherwise, I've had a good. Hold on a minute. You've had 17 good holes, and all you're telling me about is that. So just chat to me a little bit about your thoughts on the recalling memories, I guess.
Yeah, you get it. You get it a lot. I mean. Sports psychologists and coaches will talk about building a memory box, and whenever I start, I probably haven't finished a sentence with a lot of people before the client will say, I don't remember half of my stuff. But that's where we can, we've got a level of control that we don't necessarily appreciate. We've got, because what happens, if I say to you, where were you when you heard about 9/11?
I can tell you exactly.
Everybody can, because what happens is you apply emotions to events, and what it does is it emphasises that event. And then when your mind stores memories, it stores them in a big pile from top to bottom. And it anything that you've got where you've got emotion around it, that's at the top of the pile. So you'll see a lot of players when they fit a shot getting very, very excited, whether it's a good one or a bad one. Now, if you hit a bad shot and you get excited and you thrash around and you start giving it more than it deserves,
which is pretty much what we see for everybody.
A lot of people do it a lot of the time. Then when the memory, when the brain stores that into its memory box, it's got a lot going on around it. It's got people getting excited, it's got swear words, it's got all sorts. And it's up there in your memory box. Whereas what we want to do is when we hit the poor shot, we want to quieten everything down. We want to give that absolutely nothing. We want to forget about it. It's nothing more than that, we talked about it before, than that unemotional learning point. Did I go through my process? Is there anything I could have done better? That's all that is. Whereas if you hit a good shot, now that's when you want to put some emotion around it. You
run around the green high-fiving?
High-fiving to a degree, Try and do it internally so you can high-five yourself behind your back or whatever. But there is elements to that, because you want to remember everything that was going on around it. So try and remember the wind, the sound, what target did you actually focus in on? Anything that you can put around that shot helps to trigger it in terms of a memory, and when it's stored, that memory's at the top. So when you go stand on that tee the next time round and you're recalling out of your memory file, it goes to the ones that have got anything around it in terms of emotion. It's just a tactic that we can use to help ourselves, whereas most amateurs, they go the other way. They'll walk off, say, "Oh, that was a good one by the law of averages," or something like that.
It's almost like we kind of, if I hit a good shot, well, I deserved that. Really, I don't celebrate it. But if I hit a bad shot, there's a club gone. I'm giving emotion to it.
It's your expectation levels, isn't it? I mean, it's slightly different for you, obviously, because you will hit a lot more good shots than your average amateur. But your average amateur shouldn't expect to hit every shot perfect. They're an amateur golfer, but our levels of expectation are up there. So when it comes to acceptance of the shot that's down here, we're not quite there yet. We need to start playing with a level of acceptance as our mindset before we go out there, and just accept that those poorer ones are nothing more than an opportunity to learn from.
Why do you think the amateur golfers, they watch golf on telly, they see the best in the world playing golf, and I guess, is that where they measure their expectations?
Their expectations are up there, but what they don't do is they don't listen to the way that the professionals will deal with any poor shot. So most of the professionals will find an alternative reason for why the shot was as it was. I got a flyer. The mud ball is very popular at the moment, isn't it? And I'm looking forward to the first shout of mud ball from St Anne's Old Links Rock Hard Fairways. I'll be chuckling like Muttley when one of my playing partners come out with that one. But it's all deflection.
It's how they deal with that.
It's how they deal with it. If they carry on hitting that poor shot, you can rest assured they'll be working on it on the range, but they certainly won't be talking about it on the TV, giving it more than it needs to have. They'll just park it into the background and move away.
This is really resonating. I remember watching something years ago, and Jack Nicklaus, he'd come out, he'd play the Masters, he'd runner up in the Masters, I can't remember what year it was, commentator, I had a chat with him, "Oh Jack, well done today, but if you hadn't missed that putt on the 16th, whatever it was, you'd have won." And I didn't miss the putt, and he was adamant he didn't miss it. The commentators, "We can show you the footage." No, he kind of parked
They
it.
give it nothing, do they? They give it no semblance of importance.
We'd be like, "Oh that's what did it."
Everyone in the clubhouse would know about it before. I could have won if I'd done this. Forget that. But no, they park it away. It's just a deflection method.
One thing that's topical at the minute, and I know we're going to delve deeper into this in the next episode, but Tyrrell Hatton wins yesterday. He was very after his shots yesterday. Normally he's very emotional and very picturesque. His good shots, he probably celebrated inside. His bad shots, he just left them alone. He seems to have, in the big events, he seems to have tempered or calmed that passion. Now, it's great to have the emotion and passion. We talk a lot about this, but really noticeable yesterday. I
think the thing with emotions is, so long as you are the ones controlling them. I mean, when we'll hit the good shot and the bad shot, we will get an emotion. We're natural. It's all natural.
Totally. You
just need to make sure that you're the one controlling the emotions, and the emotions aren't the one controlling you. especially when you haven't got the caddy alongside you, because that's your job. As we've said before, once you've hit your shot, your job is the caddy. You won't take much in if you're somewhat out of control.
So I think again we're just leading into next week's episode there really, and you look at Dustin Johnson, how he seems to have this flat, calm heart rate, and I've mentioned Tyrrell already, the passion that we see from him, and certainly players like Tiger as well. So I think maybe that's something we're going to spend a bit more time on and have a deeper dive into that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you've got two ends of the spectrum there, haven't you? You've got Tyrrell winning, and you've got Dustin winning, and they are chalk and cheese, aren't they? So there's definitely stuff that's worth investigating about where your arousal level is best, which will be different from player to player.
Where your arousal level is best.
Yeah, exactly.
Not on the golf course.
But also whether you are able to manipulate it to put it in the right place for you.
What are we on about here, Mal?
Yeah.
Right, that's
a whole different vid.
I think that's enough for today. Once again, thank you, Mal. Enlightening stuff. Really appreciate you coming and spending the time with us. I think we've got a good product here that we're going to do a lot of time and spend a lot of time with. Like I've said, thank you again for anyone out there subscribing. If you don't, give us a subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and comment below with some questions, and we're going to do something in a couple of weeks' time purely about that. But for now, I think that's us done.
Cool.
Well done. Take care.